grow, it will grow. You may find that you have done this for a while, and then this time around you may never get it done. You may have personal problems in your life, and it might attack you in every direction. With this, you might go through a breakup or a divorce. You may go through family problems. You may go through hell and back. But keep going through your pain. Finish that book or keep on writing your books. Eventually, your hard work will pay off. You could have a hell of a year with writing. But in writing, it is being able to come out with stuff. You could outsource, but wouldn't you want your own words being heard? Some people may have thought that I outsourced in the span of 2 years, but I did all that work myself. I lost my relationship along the way because of it. But when you have a dream in life, you have to go for it, no matter what you lose. I know I was watching a Hallmark movie around Christmas time, where a woman wanted a book deal and got it, and it changed her life. However, at the same time, she split up with the one she was with because they didn't share the same vision. Life is like this, and if our words aren't conveyed, and even if you reach a small group of people, isn't it worth it? If you have a message to share with the world, there is a price that is there to be paid. But you go and do it. It might be hard, and there might be loss along the way. But your emotions come alive in writing. If you have a vision to make this world a better place with your writing, then do it. Life is full of change and challenges. I won't guarantee your book will be a success. It may flop, but it is worth trying and putting out there to the world. That decision is up to you to put it there. Good luck with your Amazon Kindle book. Make your Kindle book great and kindle your writing.
Okay, we're back at the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. The 2 audiobooks that were advertised were The Evolution of the Squared Circle of the Production of Professional Wrestling by Joseph Evaldi, narrated by Dickie Thomas, and Kindle Your Writing, Tips on Making Your Amazon Book Great, and the narrator is Chiquito Jaquim Cresto. It's the narrator. Back to the podcast. As you can see, we have a lot of podcasts that are going to be done, and a lot of changes that are going to be done. That was just a few of it. Wisdom from Uncle Kurt, Joe Vex the Race Reporter, and I tell you, I like the feel of the show. I mean, I figure we change some things up a little bit. We make things up to par or grand or something like that. We make things livelier, because I remember the way the old Joseph Evaldi podcast was. You know, I was talking about relationships. I was talking about disgruntled stuff. I was talking about a lot of things. Well, I needed to change. I needed to change from how things were and what things were, and I was going through, rough patch in January. But things have changed. Things have changed for the better. I'm happier now. I got a lot going for me. I'm getting my writing back into par. Good relationship. And I'll tell you this. When I was down before, I got up. But I don't want this podcast to be necessarily about just discontent, as I said. Little discontent, yeah. That's the old Joseph Evaldi, but this new Joseph Evaldi is gonna try to make things livelier. It's gonna make things, more energy. See, if it's one thing about Joseph Evaldi is he likes the energy. He likes having things to the way they need to be. He likes having things to where it's impactful. He likes having things to where his words have meaning. His words have vision. His words have a plan. His words live. And you could feel that in him. You could feel the vibe. You could feel the excitement. You could feel everything. Now, Joseph Evaldi, I was down in the dumps before. And I was obsessing about things, and you know what? It led me to now. I was waiting for the right time to re-release the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. And I think timing is right. We got a special guest, and hopefully we can get another special guest. So let's just see. But all I know is this is at the Joseph Evaldi Network, and I'm gonna close the podcast with a poem from Apparitions of a Warrior. Now, if you hold on 1 minute, after I leave you to a short commercial break, replaying the ad for Evolution of a Square Circle, the production of professional wrestling, I'm gonna get right back.
The fans look forward to wrestling, and they are part of the show. It was just yesterday on WWE Raw that the wave broke out on TV, and they stopped wrestling. The fans are as much of the production as the wrestlers. It is us who influence the direction of wrestling, and they say what they wanted. I remember when I was at a WCW event, and I started a Sid chant to beat up an opponent. He was a heel at the time, but my chant made him a face, and it was heard on cable TV. I guess then I influenced the crowd at that time, and the crowd reacted. Crowds have been known to influence the direction of where the storylines go. At times, the wrestling promotion likes to swerve the crowd, an unanticipated twist in the storyline. Crowds are a part of the show. However, the production makes the show. It's the people at the concession stands. It's the people who control the lighting and the camera work. Through the course of this audiobook, you will see the change in wrestling, of how it is operated and how it is produced, and how it influenced society as a whole. Now, as Vince put it, they compete with all forms of entertainment as society changes and try to stay relevant. You have the traditional fans, but if you're my age, of 36, the last wrestlers still wrestling on a main stage from the 1980s era are Sting and The Undertaker. This is a statement of the times, and like every era, it changes.
Okay, back at the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. I'm gonna close this brand new Joseph Evaldi Podcast out with a poem. It is called Seeking Dreams of Gold. which we all would like to do. And I'm going to invite on the podcast tonight to read this special poem. And I'm going to invite Slow Mo Joe. Hello, this is Slow Mo Joe, and I'm going to read a poem called Seeking Dreams of Gold. It is a sign of pure greatness. It's what is already there. It is the feelings from the lively heart. It is a dream I dream of. It is a sight of what's not seen. It is the possibility of near perfection, as the eye seeks of many dreams. The heart leaves, pounding onward for a goal. It is moving forward and striking with force. Whatever is inside lives throughout the air of the night. I was ready to make a sacrifice. Is it what lies with me for the past, or is it of many goals to be made in the future? I am still young, with many passions left undone. Still, I await dreams of gold, and I fight many battles. I'm here, but it is it the sign that's still there? When will we know when it's given? But will I know when it's given? Thank you, Slow Mo Joe, for that reading. And thank you for tuning in to this very special new addition to the Joseph Evaldi Podcast on the Joseph Evaldi Network with the Joseph Evaldi brand. As you can see, we had news from Joe Vexter, we had a wisdom from Uncle Kurt, we had a poem from Slow Mo Joe, and we had a little bit segment from me, Joseph Evaldi. We are rebranding, and this is a part of the major rebranding process. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the new Joseph Evaldi Podcast. Have a good night.